Hello and welcome to Stand Up for Jehovah. Now I need to talk to you about God. It's come to my attention through a video made by somebody called Discern4 and the video's called How Many Has God Killed? That calling God the loving creator is a little bit of a misnomer. It's a bit like calling Hitler an international humanitarian aid worker. Now, we know that God was super killy in the Old Testament, but I sometimes wonder if Christians think that they're worshipping a different fella these days. I know Jesus came and did a major rebranding operation on him, but still, turning water into wine was nothing compared to turning a genocidal, killing maniac into the loving creator. And what's really disturbing about super killy Yahweh is the kind of things that you could get killed for. So I'm going to give you a little rundown of the things that would earn you his eternal wrath. So if you looked back, Lot's wife, I could never make sense of that. It's just, why does that merit death? And then her daughters go on to shag the dad. Come on, get some perspective, God. He doesn't seem to be able to balance big things against little things, does he? If you were displeasing, was displeased, just says he was displeasing to God. Well, isn't that a little bit of guess what's on my mind? Isn't it like saying to a kid, be a good boy, but not giving him any kind of indication of what's on your list of good and naughty? It's just so vague. And this was back in Genesis, I think, so there wasn't even anything written down then. Poor old I don't know, he might have just been really ugly, might it? Oh, he's displeasing, look how hideous he is. I made a really ugly one there, I'll just get rid of him. Poor fella. If you offered up unauthorised fire. Oh, God, so touchy. You know, he offered up fire. That's a good thing. You loved it when people did that. But unauthorised fire, oh, well, let's kill him. If you gave the wrong report. So when God sent spies out to the promised land and they came back, some of them gave the wrong report and he killed those, and the others gave the right report and they were allowed to live. Well, look, if you already know the answer, don't play this game of sending spies out and without them even knowing that if they say the wrong thing, they're going to get killed. And then when they come back, you go, ha, you said the wrong thing, I'm going to kill you. But I wouldn't have gone if you'd told me those were the rules. You should at least explain to people what the rules are and what the penalties are before you set the game up. If you complained that God killed too many people, he killed 14,700 for that. If you pronounced words differently, he killed, I don't have the list, I don't have the number for that. If you pronounced words differently, 42,000 got killed for that. I mean, that is an absolute breach of the Equality Act 2010, if you ask me. If someone solved a riddle and your clothes were part of the bet, God was cool with being killed for that. 30 people got killed for that. That was okay. If you looked in the special box, the special box, 50,070 people got killed for that. If you put your hand out to stop the special box falling over so that it didn't get smashed to smithereens, you could be killed for that. Again, where's the perspective? He was trying to do a good thing. But he touched the special box. I remember at Kingdom Hall debating this and thinking, yeah, but he was trying to do a good thing. He stopped it. Now, take the other situation. Say if he hadn't put his hand out. So he'd gone, I'll get killed for that. And the box had fallen off and smashed into 1,000 pieces and all the people had seen the inside of the special box. Well, who would have got killed then? He would have probably killed all the people that were carrying it, wouldn't it? So it was a lose-lose situation. You don't let it drop, you die. You do let it drop, you die. I mean, I would not carry a special box around if those were the rules. Would you? Here's a special box, and basically, whatever you do to it, somebody's gonna die. Oh, thanks. I don't really want this birthday present. Can I send it back? Have you got the receipt? No, I haven't got the receipt. Take the special box. I don't want the special box. People die. if you needed 200 foreskins to buy your wife, God was quite okay with those people being massacred so that some fella could buy his wife. I mean, was there nothing else that would have done? Really, a nice Ralph Lauren handbag, an iPad, something less killy than 200 bits of knob. Oh, honestly. Here's my absolute favourite one. I'm just going to have to, read it out from my sheet. If you take a census, and God hasn't told you to take a census, the really fantastic thing about this killy event was that God gave David 3 options. It's like a fairy tale, isn't it? You've got to find 3 things and then you can marry my wife for 3 quests. So the 3 options were this. God said, tell David, because he's taking a census, and I said he didn't have to take a census, he can choose. Do you want A, 7 years of famine, B, 3 months where you're being chased by your enemies, kind of the precursor to the Hunger Games really, wasn't it? Or C, 3 days of pestilence, still a black there. Oh, surprise, surprise, which one are you going to pick? Which one did David pick? Which do you think? Well, 7 years of famine, arguably, David might have run out of food himself, so he wasn't too keen on that. Ooh, 3 months where you've been chased by your enemies. Oh, I don't know, it sounds a bit personally killy to me. So he picked 3 days of pestilence. And in those 3 days, 70,000 people died. 70,000. Well, thank you, David. Did you die? No. Had you taken the census? Yes. 70,000 other people died. I suppose at least he knew how many people he had left, though, given that he'd just taken the census. Minus 70,000. That leaves me with 3.5 soldiers and 29 children. Oh, but 1,000 concubines. Oh, no, that's somebody else. If you called God the God of the hills and he wanted to be called the God of the valleys, I'm not just the God of the hills, I'm the God of the valleys. How many people do you think died because somebody called him the God of the hills and he wanted to be called the God of the valleys as well? I'm the God of the valleys, I'm the God of the hills, I'm the God of everything, I'm the God of trees and flowers and everything. I'm the living creator. 127,000 people died because somebody had called him the God of the hills and he wanted to be called the God of the valleys. I will put scripture references on this video so that you can see that I'm not making this up. I shit you not. And if you called somebody baldy, well, 42 kids died for that. Now, I do have a bit of sympathy with the last one because when I was a kid, obviously, I only called him Baldy. It's not like he said, you effing mother effing Baldy, is it? I mean, you could have understood that. Why, you pesky kid, I'm going to get you. But actually, 42 kids died, so it must have been like a pack of children following this prophet going, hey, Baldy, hey you, Baldy, Baldy, a massive gang of them. So maybe 42 kids were following you down the street, calling you a name. It might be reasonable to call some she-bears out, I don't know. We're a bit hampered in England because we don't have that many she-bears and they tend not to obey you when you ask them to kill people. So there you have it, a little rundown of things that you must never do if you don't want God to kill you. I'm sure there are lots more in the New Testament because the Jehovah's Witnesses are busy thinking up oodles of things that are sins. Indeed, in my other video about the correspondence guidelines, if you use leeches, ooh, naughty, naughty. If you let your cat have a blood transfusion, ooh, it's a bit naughty, that bit killy, you might die. It eradicates this whole thing of free choice. It's a nonsense. God gave us free will. But if you don't choose exactly, specifically, exactly to the letter what he says you've got to do, then you'll die. And is that free will? Not really. Thank you for listening to Stand Up for Jehovah.